Yeah, there's some a little this time, but he's trying to do the two down and take it off. You can see this guy has blood coming out and getting off of it.
So, blocked by Kinsley.
Like those little floaters, those little runners in the lane. I saw that shot last night. And when a guy is going like he's going, boy, you can't let him get inside the lane. You need to take the ball out of his hands in the last 15, 20 seconds of the game.
So the Spurs were down early. Don't forget, they trailed early. At the end of the first quarter, they were down by 7 at Indiana. Tony Parker on the penetration doesn't get the roll, and David Robinson kept it alive, but threw the loose ball foul.
That was a good job that time by O'Neal to really pressure Tony Parker's shot. He had an uncontested layup.
First on Jermaine O'Neal. He's a sensational athlete, 6'11", 230-pounder. They call it actually on Tinsley. Steve Smith, great catch, Tim Duncan. Too many passes, though. And the Spurs turn it over again. No, top catch for TD, and Foster at the opposite end makes it 11 straight for the Pacers. Spurs trying to wake up 3 minutes into the game.
Oh, they're not here yet. And that time Foster beat the Spurs big men down the floor.
David Robinson gets a second early foul on O'Neal, and that's as important as anything to put him on the bench.
I prefer David taking it to the basket when you're down 11-0, but I'll take him get to the foul line. But Foster gets out here and beats the Spurs big men down the floor. How often does that happen?
Do you think he's pumped up just a little to be home? 8 points for Jeff Foster, and the Spurs are finally on the board.
He's about 10 feet off the ground right now.
Now the Pacers come in tonight. Only 2 out of the lead in the Central Division. 18 and 15 because Milwaukee has lost 2 in a row. They've been banged up. Ray Allen's been out. Now Glenn Robinson has suffered a thigh injury. So 18 and 15 overall. They're 7 and 10 on the road. As I mentioned, one of the few teams that can say they're up on the West. 6 and 5 against the Western Conference. Good ball movement again. Tinsley. And they'd like him to take that shot. Believe me.
He only hit 8 threes coming into this game all year.
Good lob. Tim Duncan trying to get the third from Jermaine O'Neal. He backed up. And the Spurs with 4 straight. Down by only 7.
Oh, Jenner is helping us. Tim Duncan will definitely help. The Pacers don't have anybody on the floor or on the bench that can contend with him.
Call a hold on Bruce Bowen trying to track Reggie Miller. Brian Anderson.
Well, guys, you know, Jeff Foster off to a great start here. And Isaiah, he said he thought he might get off to a good start here tonight. I asked him earlier, I said, what has he meant to this team? He says he's our most important player. Not the best, but our most important. And he says he's a guy that's not replaceable. Interesting comments from Isaiah.
That's just like Malik Rose. Malik Rose is so critical, so crucial to the San Antonio Spurs team because of what he brings off the bench in terms of energy, going after loose balls, keeping balls alive, and just the intangibles that he brings to the game. And I completely understand how Isaiah would think that about Foster.
Parker forced that turnover. Spurs will have it. Great job defensively on Tinsley. He got caught in the air, tried to hit Foster. He was behind on the pass, and that's why it turned over. That was serious D by Tony Parker. Will it be 6 or 7 in a row for the Spurs after the first 11 was scored by the Pacers? Foster trying to keep up on the pick and roll game with Tim Duncan. And Tim lost the handle. Never had it.
I just hope that he continues his confidence with that left hand.
Reggie Miller, look out. What a break. A good look from Miller. How about another? Back-to-back misses? I don't think so. All-time leader in league history. Threes attempted. Reggie Miller on his career is at 37% from beyond the arc. And the Energy Group ready to come off early. Parker penetrating and getting a layup. Nice pass on the give and go with Tim Duncan.
Yeah, well, they get something going here, but Pop doesn't like the chemistry that started out. He's going to come with a mass substitution. Like I said at the beginning, when he called that first time out, the Spurs, the starting five, they're not here yet.
Bowen stopping Reggie Miller? No. Reggie Miller on the step back. He's got 5 early ones.
And you know, you can't let Reggie off, and he got 2 easy shots that last possession. You can't allow that with a guy like him.
Now the Spurs are 23rd defensively in defending against the 3. And Miller off the Bowen miss. Tinsley in trouble. Bowen can't touch it. He was on the sideline, so all 5 sit down. A slow start for the regulars tonight. We've been talking about the way the benches get on the floor a lot in the fourth quarter of recent games. Well, they're on the floor earlier tonight than we've seen them all year.
And this is a tough situation if you're a starter because it's embarrassing. When Pop brings all 5 of you out, he's sending a clear message, and everybody here can understand it, and you have to sit and fume for a little while.
Rose, fastball. Miller moving without it was available, but the pass was off the mark. So right now the Pacers simply beating the Spurs to the punch early. Spurs is down by 10. Charles Smith, Gary Porter, Antonio Daniels into the contest, along with Malik Rose. Antonio. And Mark Bryant, well, he gets the break. O'Neal lost the handle. Easy layup for Mark Bryant. And O'Neal didn't have to worry about losing it. Take away Terry Porter. That was an ill-advised pass. What a mistake on that turnover. Terry read it perfectly, leaves it, and Malik's got it. Spurs with 4 off the bench right away, and trail by 6.
You have instant energy in this bench. We talked about it. You talked about it in the open, how they're finishing the fourth quarter because they're that good.
Spurs are that deep. You also mentioned this is the deepest you've seen it. Tinsley got the wall from O'Neal. O'Neal doesn't get an assist, but he should. With a big pick, took out 2 players.
And this bench takes pride in what they do.
Now Malik Rose against Jeff Foster. Penetration. Daniels, tough one. And Mark Bryant, another one that got away. Going down, no shot. Malik keeps it alive. Charles Smith for 3. Yes!
You're right back in this ball game. The Spurs were in a situation where they found themselves with a big deficit, getting larger. The first team, no energy. And look what the bench has done. They brought you right back in this ball game. This is an excellent move by Pop.
That also tells you the confidence that Pop has in this group. Rose posting up. Terry Porter bringing it out. In the transition, it's a 4-on-3. Smith back-to-back. Tough break, but Malik Rose had the position. Reggie Miller's got the ball. Now, an opportunity for Rose and the Pacers. And Rose makes the most of it before Mark Bryant can get over. So the Pacers at 69% on some great looks. Mark Bryant beat Foster underneath. Doesn't get the roll. And Terry Porter this time to jump. Bad break for the Spurs as they got it inside. O'Neal makes it a 9-point deficit once again. So plenty of transition for both teams. The Spurs need another timeout.
Step ball to the curb, baby. As I unleash the fury with some fly Juwan Howard razzle my down. Yo, Spring, you want some popcorn? This gonna be the best damn movie you ever seen. Extra large cup of salted artificial butter. Word to you.
Pacers at a blistering 71% from the field. Lead by 9. Well, don't forget, this week on ACC Sunday Night Hoops, Jason Williams, #1 ranked Duke Blue Devils, taking on Monty Cummins, Florida State. It all starts 5:30 Central right here on Fox Sports Net. Good matchup. Duke, Florida State, ACC Sunday Night Hoops. Antonio Daniels working to the backcourt. Malik Rose down on the baseline with Mark Bryant. Malik Rose popping out. Reggie Miller. So the Spurs, as a group, only 5 of 16 after the miss. And Indiana wants to run away and hide while they can.
But you look at the difference. Now you're not getting wide open shots. Indiana is having to work for their bucket.
Tinsley lucky to keep it alive. and O'Neal on the finger roll. It's an 11-point lead. That match is the largest of the contest.
I know we just had that promo for Duke, and that's exactly what Pop pulled. He pulled his entire starting five out, like Krzyzewski did in the Kentucky game about 2 weeks ago.
Antonio Daniels with a great look. Just didn't convert on the dribble penetration. Spurs on the ropes early. It is early, fortunately, and Indiana can't play better, can they? Jalen Rose got caught underneath. Great idea, though, running without the basketball. Charles Smith also doing the same. Terry Porter thought he threw contact. Malik Rose has the loose ball clear out on Jeff Foster. And Terry Porter looks at Leon Wood and says, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, tough foul that time on Malik. Look at Reggie Miller here. This is the end of that possession where he got 2 free shots because nobody got out on him. That time Bruce Bowen, good defense, forces him into taking a fadeaway jump shot, but Reggie still hits that. Starting five just came out a little lethargic.
No subs yet for the Pacers. 9 minutes in the contest. Rose choking off Foster into a bad shot. Foster wouldn't quit, though, would he? Shot clock expires. It never drew iron. But the Spurs get a stop. Need a few of those, don't they, with 2:59 left in the first quarter.
A few would help.
Man, we've got a timeout. When we come back, it's going to be the first sub of the game. For the IHOP restaurant, you can meet Tony, the I-10 IHOP, I-10 and Day Savannah. Tony's going to be signing autographs, visiting with the customers. Sunday afternoon, 4 to 5. Join Tony Parker. It's some chocolate chip pancakes while you're there. Pacers right now on an 8-2 run over the last 3 minutes, and one of the starters did check back in. Tim Duncan, as well as David Robinson. But Terry Porter is going to share the floor with Charles Smith and Malik Rose. Tim Duncan working, Jeff Foster. Tim, again, very strong. And Malik Rose draws the foul going up. He'll go to the free throw line.
Malik is just relentless underneath the basket. He gets the ball, he starts pump faking, throwing his body around. Somebody could get hurt.
Well, he had 13 in the last game. In the second quarter alone, he had all 6 of his shots. He had 12 and 5 off the bench in the second quarter. And to a man, the Spurs say the difference in that Pistons game was the energy that he brought off the bench in the second quarter. The win for the Spurs, 97-85. Steve Smith hit some clutch baskets as well down the stretch. Back when it was late in a one-point game as Malik is real flat on that one. And it's saved athletically. David Robinson, Charles Smith, and the charge is there. Accepting it, the young man who just came into the game, Al Harrington. Did he get there?
Oh, Charles Smith making a great cut down the lane. The pass is here. Not the extra step. That's what gets him in trouble. The pass was a second late.
Terry Porter on Tinsley with Tony Parker on the bench. Al Harrington and David Robinson kept Foster away from him. Harrington in his 4th year, straight out of high school to the Pacers. Charles Smith, second three-pointer, coming up short.
He looked like he was out of rhythm on that shot.
Tinsley charged it. He wanted to pass. You could tell he wanted to go into the corner to Jalen Rose, but the Spurs got back, and all of a sudden, he was caught up.
Yeah, and he's a rookie. He's dreaming if he thinks he's going to get this call. I mean, Terry Porter is there outside the lane, and he gets caught in between passing and shooting the basketball.
David got back on the wing. You can see David getting into the passing lane when he wanted to go to Jalen Rose. So, second foul on the rookie out of Iowa State, Jamal Tinsley. Spurs down only by 11. When you see that graphic, it's not all bad. David Robinson held up by Al Harrington. So the Spurs do not have a basket over the last 3.5 minutes.
But I like that move better.
Get inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave not settling for the outside jumper. He's got a guy who's 6'8" on him, a younger player. You can overpower him and you can outsmart him. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Now, this is the first of a back-to-back set for the Spurs. If they think it's going to be tough tonight against the Pacers, wait till they match up with the Mavericks tomorrow night in Dallas at their new arena.
No, that's going to be.
You can't afford a slow start there.
No, you're going to find yourself down definitely double digits early on.
Tim Duncan after it. Jeff Foster chasing it down. His last touch by Travis Best because of the effort of Tim Duncan. Joe Forte, the senior member of this crew, along with Gary Benson, who made that call, and former NBA player out of Cal State Fullerton, Leon Wood. Inside of 2 minutes in the very forgettable first quarter for the Spurs. But they're fortunate. Only 25% from the field, and they're only down by 10. Steve Smith on the move and beats another former Detroiter before Jalen Rose could get over. Steve out of Pershing High School, Rose out of Southwestern High School in Detroit. 8-point game.
A little rivalry there.
And they were talking with Carlos Rogers as well, another guy out of Detroit. We'll see later in the game. Harrington blocked completely by Tim Duncan. Tim's second block already tonight.
He gripped that almost with his elbows. He blocked that. Harrington brought the ball right to Tim Duncan right there. He doesn't have a shot of getting that ball up. And Tim is just too long. His timing's too good, and you have to protect the ball better than that with a shot blocker lurking.
But Tim at 2.9 blocks per game. That is third best in the league behind only Ray LaFrentz and Ben Wallace. And Tony Parker gets it when Best didn't feel him from behind. Just scraped it away. Smith free, moving around. Jeff Foster. And what a pass to David Robinson. David too strong.
That was a beautiful pass.
Harrington on the scoop. And now Harrington has his first point. He had a string of 17 straight double-figure scoring games off the bench come to an end on Monday. He went only 3 for 16. Tim Duncan grabbed by Best from behind. Tim goes to the line to shoot two. Nice entry.
Nice pick and roll that time. Steve Smith with a nifty pass to Tim rolling to the basket. And there's just a lot more energy in these white jerseys now that they learned their lesson. They went to the bench. They saw what kind of effort it took from the bench players, and they've come out now with some renewed energy. But they got themselves in the hole early. Now they're down 10, and they have to fight out of it.
League leader in rebounding at 13.2 is also seventh best in scoring. Tim Duncan at 25.4, and over the last 5 games, absolutely incredible. 32 and 16. So TD gets a couple. It's back to 8. Very manageable with 3 quarters to play. David Robinson helping out. Foster again. Charles Smith with the box out to enable Tony Parker to come up with it.
Now Foster had to rush that shot. Earlier in the quarter, he got an easy one.
Jeff Foster trying to foul on Tim Duncan. He was trying to get around him and underneath him. Foster had him locked up, but Gary Benson says it's an offensive foul on Tim Duncan.
Looked to me that time that Tim did a great job of stealing the defender.
Baseline official didn't agree with you.
Well,
now Travis Best has it.
We can disagree.
Back into the game with 2 fouls, don't forget. O'Neal, shot clock winding down. Charles Smith doing a good job defensively. And the roll is there for Jermaine O'Neal. I thought they'd bring it back out for a final shot. It didn't make any difference, though, as he got the roll. Now Parker has to pick it up. Parker working against Best, and Best got him. So Tony Parker on the penetration. 2 quick fouls on Travis Best, the young man who's had his problems lately. Last year of a contract. He's in his 7th season out of Georgia Tech. And last year he was playing like a starter. He wasn't a starter, but he had 31 minutes a game, so basically starter's numbers, minutes-wise. And it was up to about 13 a contract with 6 assists a game.
And if he doesn't stay in Indiana, he's going to make some team out there very happy. The guy is a great ball handler, can score at that one position and dish the ball.
9-point game as Parker got 1 of 2. And now, at the buzzer, it's not close for Jonathan Bender, who just came in. Spurs' best record in the NBA at home last year, 14-3 at home so far this season. One of the best records at home. Only the Lakers 15-2 are better off on their home floor. But tonight the Spurs starter sat down early as Travis Best is off the mark. And David Robinson Had it go off the Pacers. Fortunately, the Spurs, they got a break. O'Neal had it slide off him. Spurs got a lot of people on the floor. In fact, 10 were on the floor in the first 12 minutes of play. Pacers had balance, though. Let's face it. Foster with 8, and then they had a couple with 5. Tinsley and Miller, 6 for Jermaine O'Neal. Rose had a 2. So all 5 of their starters got to the board very early, got involved early. Tim Duncan over Jermaine O'Neal. Tough shot, tough break. Steve Smith, though, battled. And Crozier knocked it away. The young man who just came to the game to start. Well, second 12. Austin Crozier.
Tim had a dunk. He misread that play, gave O'Neal a great head fake, and had the entire lane open and stopped, pulled up for a jumper.
Soft catch and shoot. No surprise, though. League leader in threes gets his first try of the night. Steve Smith, 57%, makes it a 6-point ball game.
And he said in the paper that he's been getting wide open looks at it, but that one was under pressure.
Sweet stroke. Jonathan Bender outside. Bender, they have some youngsters on this team. Bender's in his 3rd year out of high school, Picayune High School.
Right.
In Mississippi, just a little north of New Orleans.
When he first came out, they were saying that he shot the 3 ball better than Reggie in practice in more range, but he just hasn't carried it over to the game.
Steve Smith was barking. He thought he was trapped on that last miss, and David Robinson throws it away. Spurs give it away once again for the 6th time already. They're outscored 9-7 in points off turnovers, but the holiday season continues as Crozier gives it away, the young man out of the Crossroads School in Santa Monica, California, and his career there overlapped that of Baron Davis, who plays for the Charlotte Hornets. Now, here's a tiny school in Santa Monica, and these two are on the floor together, and it is a small high school. Tony Parker, tough one. Crozier chases it down. So the problems continue for the Spurs from the floor at 27%. Harrington in the open floor, and that's what this young squad likes to do. They don't want half-court sets if they don't have to.
Well, if it's working for them now, why do they have to go to half-court sets? That time they got the ball and ran a little semi-break, and it wasn't like the white jerseys couldn't get back. Beat them down the floor right now.
Tim Duncan on the spin. And again, we've seen it. Too strong for Tim early. Harrington, quick release. And the finish for Jonathan Bender. So the Spurs beat the punch tonight on a regular basis. Down by a dozen. That is the largest lead for the Pacers. And a technical foul on Greg Popovich. 2.5 minutes into the second.
And Pop is getting a technical partly because he's upset at the referees and he wants his team to respond.
Garrett Benson throws him out of the game. So Pop to the locker room.
And he's trying to make a statement here by going to the locker room. He wants to get his team fired up. He wants to show his team that he's serious about this ball game and that they have to get just as serious as he is.
Travis Bass blows the technical, at least the first technical free throw. He was upset about something that happened earlier. And he made his point before he got out.
Well, he's hot over several things. But look at all the white jerseys right there. There's 3 of them trailing the break. There's 2 back. Look at these guys here. There's 1, 2, 3. You've got to get back into that play. They're running you up and down the floor.
Steve Smith, good look. Does it again. So fortunately, Steve Smith starting to come through. 7 points for Steve after he had 15 to win over the Pistons. Crozier, nice little head fake, and he got a pass to the basket. Now, Harrington leading it off for O'Neal. And Jermaine O'Neal with the soft touch.
This team, we've always had troubles with Indiana in this building. There's been a couple years where they blew us out back-to-back, and then this team goes up to Indiana and wins. They're just a team that plays well in this building.
Leon Wood finally made the call. The man was up in the air. Steve Smith waited for him to come down. And a couple of free throws are coming up, I believe, when we return. So Jonathan Bender up in the air.
By 13 over the Spurs, 8:54 remaining in the first half. Hey, folks, a great matchup tomorrow at the Rock Pile. I want to invite all of you to go out and check it out if you can. It's the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, and it'll be in San Antonio tomorrow. The top 74 high school football players in the country, including both the offensive and defensive players of the year, according to USA Today. That's tomorrow at noon at Alamo Stadium. Joel and Sean, that is going to be some kind of game with some great talent, some big-time college football players next year here tomorrow in San Antonio.
It will be entertaining. Great turnout for the youngsters. Steve Smith was fouled, and they're going to say that he was not in the act of shooting. Steve Smith, by the way, Millie is maybe at home tonight because Steve and Millie Smith, congratulations, Millie. They welcomed Davis Satchel Smith into the world on December 27th, their second son, first son. What a sweet, beautiful little boy. So congratulations to the Smith family. It is the greatest gift. As Steve knocked it out of bounds and knocked it. He's one Spur who's really hustling off Al Harrington. Pacers, though, have been on a 9-2 run. But Steve doing his best to keep the Spurs within striking distance with 8:47 to play.
Steve Smith is a gamer.
Tim Duncan battling now on a double. Tony Parker free for three. That's been the story of the Spurs. Just a little off from the field. 27%. Carrying the basketball. Bruce Bowen has a good look. It's not close, though. Right in front of us. And a loose ball foul on Jonathan Bender.
Well, at least they're hustling underneath.
Now they're starting to bang the board.
The shots aren't falling, but they're in there scrapping now.
Spurs have been outboarded by 6, 19-13, but keep it at the offensive end. Second chance opportunity. Tim, good position before they can react. And flat again. Tim Duncan, a rare slow start. 1 through 7. Pacers continue on a 9-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes. And Bruce Bowen thought he was shoved out of the way. It goes over to Crozier. He blew the layup. But a second chance, and he makes the most of it.
His eyes got as big as saucers. And he pump faked about 10 times, waiting for Duncan to budge, but he didn't budge. He had to throw up something. And he gets the ball back and puts it in.
This crowd is in disbelief because we've been spoiled by this team at home this year. It is going to occur, though. Now, how do you deal with the adversity? Tony Parker, nice finger roll, Tony. Little baby hook from the holster with penetration like that to make it a 13-point ball game.
Fantastic penetration that time.
Parker has 5 to go along with a couple of assists. O'Neal up against David with the shot clock winding down. And too close for comfort. Tim Duncan with a rebound. Spurs with Tony Parker leading the way. He'll wait for the big guys to get involved. And Crozier got up in the air. Tim Duncan thought there was contact. Doesn't get the whistle, though.
He just started out a little slow, but he is the best player I've seen or have ever played with that can start off slow and get himself back in the ballgame.
Al Harrington out of St. Patrick's High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Bobby Hurley's dad's been the coach there. Last year averaged 7.5 and 5 a game. First round pick the Pacers in 98, 25th overall selection. Makes it a 15-point lead once again. Give it go. Bruce Bowen. The double went to Tim Duncan. They share it. And the Spurs are only down by 13 with 6.5 left in the half. Reggie Miller and Jeff Foster ready to check back in for the Pacers.
Jeff Foster's going to come off the bench and give him some energy.
Bruce Bowen off the Crozier miss. And Crozier's really struggled this year from the outside. David Robinson sharing it again with Bowen moving without the basketball. Now they're looking for each other. It's down to 11.
That's what you like to see. Bowen with the rebound, pushes the ball up the floor, and he stays active without the basketball.
Great look by David. We're halfway through the second quarter. You just want to get within 7 or 8 or 9 by the break. But that's too easy a look. Al Harrington only 6'8" feet in front of the rim.
And you got 2 or 3 dribbles in the lane, and you can't allow that to happen. You have to go and help your teammates out. Back into this ball game. Bruce Bowen, he's been active without the basketball. When he makes his pass over here, I want you to watch Al Harrington, who's guarding him. He absolutely turns his head, loses his vision on ball and man. Freeze it. Right there. He's already lost his vision. Bruce Bowen cuts down the lane for an easy one. Great pass, by the way, by Mr. Robinson.
Don't you wish everybody defended like that?
Yeah, I wish. I'd be out there.
Spurs down by 13. Tim asking for it against Jeff Foster. The clear out for Tim Duncan. Reggie Miller on the double. Tough pass. Bowen with a good job of saving it. Tony Parker stepping back for the three-pointer. And Tim Duncan gives him a second chance opportunity. The Spurs getting back into it by getting the rebound. David Robinson low against Austin Crozier. Line drive. Spurs still at only 29% from the field.
I appreciate Dave cutting across the lane and doing a good job of stealing, but I'd rather let Tim work one-on-one in that situation.
Best on the penetration. And the Spurs caught looking a little bit once Travis Best got inside. Spurs got a break because Jeff Foster had his hand on the baseline when he touched the ball.
Well, they got a huge break here. Travis Best gives a great head fake to Dave Robinson and then stays with it and gets back the offensive rebound. Your big men need to get back in that play and rebound the basketball.
And a real break with Steve Smith sitting on the baseline. The Spurs will take it down by 13. There rarely been slow beginnings at home for the Spurs. Very rare. Malik Rose back onto the floor. Shot clock down and right around. Austin Crozier, good idea. We've talked about the penetration. You don't get the hoop, at least you get the opportunity to go to the free throw line. Crozier gets his second foul. Well, Monday against the Knicks, Coyote bobblehead night, all sponsored by Body Solutions. Fans through the door with a ticket, receive a number. And during the second quarter, a number is going to be drawn at center court. If your number matches the one drawn, you receive a limited edition Coyote bobblehead. There are going to be 3,000 Coyote bobbleheads that will be given away. So join us. Match up with the Knicks on Monday night. Coyote bobblehead night. Sponsored by Body Solutions. It is early. Very early. Fortunately for the Spurs, only down by 12. First of a back-to-back with Dallas on the horizon tomorrow night. A red-hot Dallas Mavericks squad. They finally lost a game.
Right.
They're 22-10. After winning 10 straight. And Malik. Pure stroke. Puts the Spurs within 11. It has risen to as many as 15. The Indiana Pacers, a team that has lost leads in each of their last two. So, and Harrington didn't walk, did he? It'll be a walk. He looked over Leon Wood to Gary Benson. Benson was, I think, going to call a foul. Leon Wood overruled it, though. Al Harrington turns it over for the ninth time for the Pacers.
It was a good move. He just shuffled his feet a little too much.
Tim Duncan again against Jeff Foster. Got to get TV in a rhythm. The foul and Tim to the free throw line. The Spurs do have 12 attempts to only 2 right now at the stripe for the Pacers. So headed in the right direction there. They are getting some whistles, some calls.
Well, when you have a guy like this guy, number 21, this is a mismatch. Foster can't guard him down low. There's no question about it. He's gotten in the lane several times. His little jump hook has just been a little strong tonight. Foster's come out. He's played a great ball game so far.
He joined us late. Greg Popovich very upset with a couple of missed calls early. He ejected from the game with a couple of technicals. Pop's always into it. We know he's fired up. Now, will the Spurs get back into it?
I think more than anything, he's trying to send a message to his guys to, pick it up. Take this game seriously.
Reggie Miller back in. Bruce Bowen. Did he do a number like he did on Stackhouse the other night? Jeff Foster. That's a long-range bomb for Foster. Just inside the three-point line. But with the way he started, it's almost like anything can go. He's 5 for 8. He's got 10 points already.
Good-looking shot that time. He stepped right into it with a ton of confidence.
Foster tried to tie up Tim Duncan. Malik gets away inside. Jermaine O'Neal, a super shot blocker. That's why Malik had to get it up top. And it's tough. O'Neal, one of the very best. In fact, he tied. He was second in blocks per game last year, but he tied Sean Bradley for total blocks on the season.
And the reason Malik got that shot up is because he hit the ball from O'Neal.
O'Neal on the catch and shoot. Tim Duncan took it away from the smaller man, Jamal Tinsley, swiped at his leg on the way by. Now, Bowen. And the Spurs do have a man advantage. Little baby hook for Malik Rose. Staying with it. Tim Duncan off Malik Rose. Give him an assist. It's hockey.
Yeah, Malik keeping the ball alive, and that's exactly what Tim needs right now. He's struggling with his little jump hook, and sometimes in those situations, you need to get an easy one.
Timeout. So the Spurs have only hit 32% from the Alamo Dome, but plenty of topics to talk about tonight. Red McCombs, is he going to talk to Mac Brown? Job is open now. Dennis Green gone as the Minnesota Vikings head coach, but Steve Spurrier resigned earlier today, so plenty of subjects. Best high school football talent in the country here in San Antonio at Alamo Stadium tomorrow. That'll be a feature as well. And what about Darren Woodson of the Cowboys? Is Sunday going to be his final game? Joel Myers, Sean Elliott, Brian Anderson back at the Dome. Tinsley, Parker, our feature tonight. And Tinsley, bad break, tough break, because he got it in low, and Bruce Bowen's lost the foul. Bruce rolling to the free throw line. They're out of fouls. 2:25 left in the half. That's one of the reasons the Spurs are so close.
Oh, absolutely. Malik Rose doing a great job. Watch him here. He hides the ball from Jermaine O'Neal. And all of a sudden, he's up right there with a quick little jump hook before O'Neal can react to it. That's how you get the shot up over a shot blocker. You don't show them the ball first. That's how you get it creamed.
Bowen, a little better than 43% at the line. That looked good. Travis Baskin. Tinsley just picked up his third. He'll sit down for the final 2:25 of the half. Sits down with 5 points and 3 assists. Good-looking young point guard that earlier this season had a triple-double. Bruce barely draws iron, but stayed with it. It's taken away by Rose. And now, it was almost recaptured. Bowen won't quit on the play, will he?
He never quit.
Travis Bass, dribble penetration, setting up O'Neal. The penetration works every time, doesn't it? Doesn't make any difference what color jersey it is. You get that close, you're going to draw attention. Somebody's free.
Exactly. Middle penetration kills defenses. You have to force guys toward the baseline, away from the lane.
Tim Duncan trying to find a rhythm. On the move, held up by Jeff Foster. From the outset, it's been kind of a chippy game where they have gotten away with, and they're smart, whatever they can get away with when it comes to defending Tim Duncan. Jeff Foster picks up his second because they don't have a true post. That's all that's missing right now because they do have some young talent, but they don't have a matchup at the post position. So Tim was thrown off his game early, a little bit strong on 3 or 4 of his shots already. Well, he was off balance and out of rhythm.
Yeah, and the free throws are really keeping this team in the game right now. You saw those free throws, 2 attempts for Indiana to 16, now 18 for the Spurs. Without those free throws, you're looking at a huge deficit.
And Tim already 6 of 6 at the line. So the Spurs are only down by 6.
They got themselves back in this thing. You have to give some credit, obviously, to Pop for rallying these troops, and Hank Egan.
Jalen Rose, who has been struggling from the outside. A nice pass out of the reach of Steve Smith. He's only at 43%, way off of what he's used to. Last year hit almost 47%. Tim Duncan had it deflected, trying to get it to Bruce Bowen. Rose with Best. And what a break. Can't convert the 4-footer. A serious break. Smith available for 3. A flyby by Foster. Shares it with Malik Rose. Good look, Steve Smith. Malik Rose on the finish.
That's how you get yourself back in a ball game. Steve Smith had a wide open look at the 3. Instead, gives it up for a sure basket with Malik Rose underneath.
And Malik Rose now with 8 off the bench. He had 13 off the bench in the win over the Pistons. Shot clock down again. A wide open look. And Travis Best can't get it. Travis Best misses. Jeff Foster, loose ball foul. Malik Rose shoved from behind. Foster's got his third. So Tinsley and Foster with 3 already.
Well, what worried me on that play is no rotation on this shot here. Travis Best gets a wide open look at it. Malik doing a great job of boxing out. He gets pushed in his back there. You can see it. But they still miss the rotation on defense.
If you believe it, they can get within 4 because they're getting to the free throw line. They're out hustling them now. On the board, they were outboarded early by 9. Now the Spurs are only down by 4. 25-21 when it comes to the glass because of the work of the guys off the bench, like Malik Rose. That is amazing. You've only at 33% compared to their 52%, but you haven't lost sight, and you've been able to get to the strike.
Right. And it helps when Malik brings that kind of effort and energy, gets himself to the line, and he's improved his free throw shooting.
Foster sitting down with 3. Al Harrington back into the game. Harrington, a starter last year. In fact, he had 38 starts for the Pacers. 9 more team fouls in the first half for Indiana. Spurs going up at 5 in the quarter. I think Pop's argument was well taken before he left the floor.
Oh, yeah. I think it's sunk in with the guys in white.
And the other 3. Shot clock, game clock, separated by 13 seconds. And Malik Rose, first foul, inside of 2 minutes. Second on Malik. That's the foul story in the quarter. We talked about the overall foul picture. The Spurs get their first, another, and Indiana will go to the line. Shot clock down, but Miller's got the ball. Will they get it off in time? Harrison, they won't get it off in time. That looks like it was still in his hand. It's knocked away by Tony Parker, but right to Jalen Rose. Tim Duncan battling with Harrington, and that's the end of a spirited comeback in the first half of the Spurs. That was interesting in the end. The Pacers wanted a foul. The Spurs probably thought that the shot clock expired before the shot was taken. An interesting sequence.
Spurs are looking ahead to Dallas tomorrow. They said certainly hope not, but that certainly might have been the case in the first quarter.
How can you afford to look ahead to a Dallas Maverick game? Well, you've got so many games on the schedule to begin with. I thought that was way beyond an NBA player at this juncture.
No, that's easy to do. You know what? After what Dallas did to us, about 10 days ago or so, it's easy for a team to get complacent about the game tonight. Think that they're just going to come out here and walk through Indiana and get ready for the showdown tomorrow. You have to take care of business tonight.
I didn't know any team was a layup in this league.
No, they're not, and that's what Indiana's proving right now. Talking to Terry Porter before the start of this second half, I asked him, "Are you guys looking ahead?" He said, "Well, maybe a little bit. We're trying to not, beat Dallas. I mean, if this is Dallas tonight, you'd be down by 20 or 30."
It wouldn't be this close. O'Neal flat, and last touch by David Robinson. So Foster working creates another opportunity in the offensive end. The Spurs closed the first half on an 11-4 run for the last 3.5 minutes. A dour look from that mouth guard of Jeff Foster. And a foul away from the ball.
And it's before the ball's inbounded, so you're going to see some free throws here.
A couple of free throws coming up. It'll be called on Steve Smith. That's the first on Steve. And Mr. Automatic. 2 out of the last 3 years, he has led the NBA in free throw percentage. I love when that happens. 93% last year for Reggie Miller. On his career, 88%. That's why you always have to bring it up early before it leaves his hands.
Yeah, right.
But the odds of him missing 2?
Slinsky and Nunsky. Slim and none.
5-point game. Now it'll be a re-energized San Antonio Spurs squad. Steve Smith. And the shot clock down on Tony Parker, the runner. Good job by Tony Parker. David Robinson was shoved by Foster. Let's see if it is called on Jeff. It'll be his 4th.
Foster pushing Dave out.
No, Jamal Tinsley gets his 4th instead on the reach.
But Dave did a great job of going to the offensive glass here. He needs to stable himself, get himself stable. That time, his knees are together. He doesn't have any kind of power in that stance. He gets pushed out of the lane very easily.
And it was a forearm from Foster, but they called a reach on Tinsley. 4-point ball game. It's been a long time since the Spurs got it down to 3, but they're back at the line.
Yeah, he has to take the heat. He's a rookie. Pick up calls like that.
David Robinson now. 7 points away from moving into 27th place on the all-time NBA scoring list. Surpassing the totals is Bernard King. Good ball movement for Jermaine O'Neal's baseline jumper. And David Robinson coming down with it. So the Admiral with 7 boards to go along with 4 points. Tim Duncan spinning, setting up Bruce Bowen. And the patience paid off, waiting for O'Neal to come down from the clouds. 2-point ball game. Do you believe it?
Yeah, how is that possible? After Duncan goes 2 for 9 in the first half.
He got to the line, though, and made the most of that as Bruce Bowen was called for the hold in front of Joe Forte. Tim Duncan was perfect to stride 6 of 6. Bowen gets his second foul, second team foul on the Spurs in the quarter. Indiana has dropped 7 of 8 to the Spurs, so they haven't won in San Antonio since November of '96. They came out with plenty of energy tonight, though, and before the Spurs could say a thing, they were down 11 to nothing. They joined us a little bit late. And now, a shove by Jalen Rose trying to create space with Bruce Bowen off the ball.
Bruce Bowen that time just doing a tremendous job of moving around Jalen Rose in the post. A little forearm there, but see how he gets in front of him and he gets away with one that time. Looks like he pushed Jalen Rose aside.
Steve Smith, up, catch and shoot, does it again. Another 3-pointer. Steve Smith 2 for 2 beyond the arc. Spurs with their first lead of the game, and it comes a little more than 2 minutes into the third quarter. Smith doesn't ask for as much, but boy, does he make the most of it. 4 of 6 tonight. O'Neal up and under. And a break. The foul on David Robinson. It went all the way down before it came down. Tim Duncan, the 10 and 6 tonight. Get ready for the Duncan double sweepstakes, the SBC Duncan double sweepstakes. Karen Stewart of San Antonio, the last winner. She won 4 tickets to a Spurs home game. So congratulations, Karen, for the Spurs and SBC Southwestern Bell. Get ready to log on later to www.spurs.com. Say that a few times fast. As Jermaine O'Neal gets the first of 2. It's deadlocked at 51. Al Harrington coming over for instructions. Jermaine O'Neal is amazing. He's been in the league 6 years now. And he's still only 24 years old. 6 years when he was 24. I'd like that problem. So a couple of free throws and a 1-point lead for the Pacers. Little back pick by Bowen. Tim Duncan kept moving, and Tim Duncan had it taken away by O'Neal. Tim almost got it home. Now O'Neal, low post game of his own, rejected. Tim's got 3 blocks. Steve Smith got the ball.
O'Neal just brought that right into Tim Duncan's face.
Smith thought he was going to take it to the left hand. Instead, plenty of time with the shot clock. 3 for 3. Tough break. Almost 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
He's just shooting the ball so well. All he needs is an inch of daylight to get his shot off, and he's knocking them down.
He was motivated in the offseason after the trade. O'Neal. Inside-outside game of Jermaine O'Neal displayed tonight. As he's got 14 on 6 of 12 from the field. But back to Steve Smith, he really worked on his shot beyond the arc all summer long. He wanted that to be his area of concentration, and a technical foul is called on Tim Duncan. Until Forte, now in the face for some reason. You don't see it often, an official going up to a player like that.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. The players don't like to see it either.
Tim Duncan thought obviously on that slam attempt where O'Neal got the rebound. And Reggie Miller gets the technical free throw. 3rd technical on the Spurs tonight, so if it's a close one, they've got 2 extra points at the stripe. 3-point lead for the Pacers, but the Spurs do have the ball.
In that situation there, it's the referee's job, I believe, to call that technical foul, but I don't think it's their job to go back at the player.
O'Neal had position that time. And it's going to be a delayed game call on the Spurs, Tim Duncan. no way in the world the Spurs can afford to lose Tim Duncan. It is a 4-point lead for Indiana. After the free throw by Miller.
Well, I hope it, at least he got it.
Now it'll be points off a turnover. An empty trip for the Spurs. O'Neal setting up Al Harrington. And Tim Duncan kept it away from 2, but couldn't come down with it. And Rose capitalizes with the 3.
He's on the glass by himself that time.
You said it.
He
was surrounded.
Right, he had to fight off O'Neal and Foster for that board.
Crowd's into it. Their loyalty factor. Pacers on a 7-0 run. David held up by O'Neal. That'll deny the dunk, but Jermaine O'Neal at the same time picks up his second foul. Only his second.
Dave's doing a great job that time stealing.
How did Portland ever give this kid up? For Antonio Davis. Parker peels away from Rose. David's there. David's got to grab it. So the Spurs turn it over on what looked like an automatic dunk.
A little grease on those fingers.
Harrington had to go out of bounds. Last touch. It went off Tim Duncan. It'll stay on the offensive end with 10 left in the shot clock.
Pacers got to break that time. They had poor spacing. When Reggie goes down and gets doubled and you can't find an open man.
Tony Parker got involved. Jeff Foster just swatting at it.
Well, the fans want to call here, but you have to put a body on that man. Don't let him just roll down the lane, get ahead of steam, and not put a body on him. He climbs in here almost untouched. You have to put a body on him. Box that man out. He's a high-energy player.
A second chance opportunity now. Running without it, Reggie Miller. Looks too easy from Jermaine O'Neal.
It looks easy, but that's not an easy play.
It was a beautiful play on the reverse because it was a catch and shoot right away. Bowen on the penetration. Foster held his ground. And will Miller be able to save it? Yes, because Foster was there. Everything working with the Pacers now. They lead it by 9. And Reggie Miller into the second.
There he goes.
On a run by 9. Southwest Sports for Jim Rome. Then at 11:30, the Best Damn Sports Show period. 6.5 to play here at the Dome. 10 left on the shot clock for O'Neal. Miller on the rub. Daniels come into the game, setting up Jermaine O'Neal. A nice little two-man game out top by the Indiana Pacers. An 11-0 run over the last 3 minutes for the Pacers. After the Spurs finally took their first lead of the game, they haven't scored since. It was 51-50.
Right, you told me before the break, how many runs do you have left in you? I made a run to get back in this game and finally take the lead, and now it's right back up to 11.
After a turnover, chance for points off a turnover. O'Neal with a step back. He thought he was flipped looking back at Gary Benson. David stayed in front. Last touch by Steve Smith, they say. Almost like international basketball, the Pacers ready to put it back into play as soon as it's lost by the Spurs. So back-to-back empty trips. And Al Harrington dangling with Steve Smith down low as the Spurs have given it away 4 of their 11 times here in the quarter. And for the first time tonight, they have more turnovers than Indiana. 11/10. Shot clock down on Rose. He's got to go up with it. Like everything else, I thought it was going to go in. A loose ball foul. It'll be Jeff Foster over the back, or will they give it to Jermaine O'Neal? It'll be Foster, I believe, and that'll be his 4th.
Well, Tim did a great job that time of putting his body on Foster, keeping him from going to the offensive glass. He gets the foul.
Fortunately for the Spurs, a ton of time. 5:31 in the third quarter. You can't afford to send these guys, though, to the free throw line because they are one of the top 10, getting almost 77% of the strike. So things even out in that direction. It could be a problem. Right now, the Spurs have 15 more free throw attempts than Indiana. Foster sits down their energy guy. And now Carlos Rogers, another Detroit native, onto the floor. He's coming out for the first time tonight, the 7-footer. Tim Duncan trying to steal him. Setting up Antonio Daniels. Good look. And O'Neal with a good box out.
This is a great contest that time by Indiana, and like you said, great boxing out.
Spurs have missed their last 4 and now is shoved. Jermaine O'Neal trying to set a pick. He's got his arm still at his side like it's not me. Third foul. Third team foul. Ryan Anderson.
Oh, talking about Jermaine O'Neal and how young he is, and there's an interesting comment going around that the O'Neal that everybody's voting for in the East, everybody thinks it's Shaq O'Neal, but when you look at Jermaine O'Neal's numbers, he's put together a great year, almost 20 and 10. This is a team with 3 high school guys who have come out, a lot of experience, but also a lot of youth.
And before they can get Jermaine O'Neal over the bench, he's got his 4th foul. Heads up play by the Spurs to pour it inside and try to get it on. So they've got 2 and 4. Very strong numbers, a double-double already tonight for the young man out of the New Orleans area, Picayune, Mississippi.
Well, I thought he got the wrong end of the deal on the other side of the floor. But Hank Egan knows that he's in foul trouble, so he goes to Dave Robinson here. And Dave's doing a good job of forcing this way to the basket.
Austin Crozier is going to take over, and Crozier is not bad from the outside, but he's not known as a cover guy. The opportunity to exploit the situation inside is there for the Spurs. And David comes through at the line. First point for the Spurs in quite some time. After the 11-0 run, they get their first 2. Stop the bleeding. Down by 9, 62-53. Spurs went almost 5 minutes without a point. Rose threw it away. Tim Duncan quick hands. Prevented the entry pass.
Ill-advised pass that time by Rose.
David Robinson trying to exploit it, but coming over. Al Harrington took it away on the double. Now Reggie Miller for 3. And Terry Porter looks for the transition. Tim Duncan was available. Instead of Daniels, finally. Now, get another try, though, thanks to David Robinson's tip. Steve Smith, best in the business. Tim Duncan took it away. Finger rolls at home over Crozier. Down to 7. Inside of 4 left in the third.
That was great court awareness by Antonio Daniels that time. He drove middle specifically to turn and give that ball back to Steve Smith in the corner. When he missed it, Tim Duncan there to clean up the mess.
Crozier tried to draw him outside to drive inside, but Tim stayed with him. And the shot clock gone. Good stop. Team defense, the Spurs switched well on that one.
Great team defense. Everybody's helping each other out. And Indiana that time taking too long with the basketball. Each guy that got it held it just a little too long.
Takes possession for the Spurs, and Carlos Rogers holding up Tim Duncan. And what is Carlos Rogers looking for?
Yeah, well, what's the call there?
Give me a break. Turn around and take it.
It's time to make that call. Now watch Tim Duncan. All he's doing is coming across the lane with his hands up.
You're not allowed to put your arm out to prevent the man from going around.
And then,
what he did.
And then there's the elbow right there, right in front of Leon Wood there.
Carlos Rogers does not get off the bench that much. 8th-year man out of Tennessee State. Grew up in Detroit, Northwestern High School. Last year with Houston. Picked by Seattle originally. Then went to Toronto, Portland, last couple of years with Houston. And Tim Duncan, like David before him, taking advantage of the situation at the free throw line. Spurs have outscored him at the line by 14. And that's why they're only down by 5. Make it 15 now.
Well, they have to keep expending so much energy to get themselves back in the ball game.
Well, those runs we've been talking about.
Right.
How many do you have? Steve Smith. You better watch it because he's doing it in front of Wood. Rabbiteers tonight. Fortunately, Steve did not get a tee. His second foul. Could have brought it on the sideline.
That time, Al Harrington losing the basketball. Good spin, though. Just lost it.
So the Spurs back in it. It has been a roller coaster ride tonight. They were down 11-0, 2.5 minutes in the game. So it's been Salmon swimming upstream, Crozier setting up. Carlos Rogers, who blows a break, and Tim Duncan comes down with it. 7-footer had it a couple of feet in front of the rim and didn't get it home. Now Tim Duncan asking for it. Good position for TD. Why not? Backing him in and then pulling away with a drop step. 3-point game. Tim Duncan now with 16 and 8.
Back to his old trick.
Foster was giving him more body in there. Rose forced that one. Rogers had it taken away. Can Daniels save it? Yes, tiptoeing the sideline. Spurs on a run of their own. They've got the last 8 points of the game. What a game of run. Daniels, the finger roll. How sweet it is. What a stutter step he put on.
He absolutely froze his defender that time, getting himself within 8 feet, and that's his shot there, that little one-handed jumper. Soft touch.
High pick and roll. Rose saw some space. Again, though. He can't get it to go down. Jalen Rose, 3 for 10. Tim Duncan setting up Terry Porter. Terry blocked inside.
TP that time trying to take it 1-on-4 or 5. Got caught underneath the backboard. And really, he was in no man's land. Didn't have anywhere to make that pass.
They gave the block to Crozier. Spurs on a 10-0 run after the 11th straight. And it's knocked away by Rose. It'll stay on the offensive end with 7 on the shot clock. Jonathan Bender has come in. Join the Pacers 5. Al Harrington will inbound it. Make it Bender instead. They have got some long, lanky drinks of water. Grossman, he'll go up with it. That was a wild angle. He shot the ball short. That's about it. Terry Porter. Emily grows in rhythm. Tim Duncan playing catch with himself. Good idea.
Point guard needs to get the ball back right
Good
here.
idea. Big guys, we're trying to set each other up, which is fun.
Yeah, but they get a little out of control. You got to get the ball back to your guard and get a good play, good shot.
Well, he's got the wide open look. Plenty of time on the shot clock for Daniels. He'll go. He wants to dribble. And Daniels is feeling it. That's 13 straight. Make it 12 straight for the Spurs. Daniels getting his second bucket. Spurs by a point. Their second 1-point lead of the game. They've only had 2 leads. Both by a single count. And now, it'll be here. They'll keep him here. Rose commits the foul.
They're battling down there, and these guys are going to have to get control of this because this has been going on for a long time. It's getting heated down there now. You saw that first exchange. The second one was where Malik got the foul, but this game is starting to turn very physical.
So now Al Harrington going to the free throw line. 25th overall selection in the 98 draft. First player that was taken by the Pacers in the draft straight out of high school. The gamble really stick around after you've got him for 3 or 4 years in his first contract. After you put so much into it. Tim Duncan has his double-double tonight after that last rebound. Al Harrington with a couple of free throws. At the line, though, they're only 7 of 9 compared to the Spurs 20 of 26. So the Spurs are plus 13 at the strike. Daniels setting up a wide-open Terry Porter. You like that look. Terry was right on line, but strong.
That was a great look by Antonio that time. I don't know what Jonathan Bender thinks he can do out there guarding Antonio just past half court. He doesn't have the foot speed to stay with him.
Spurs only 3 for 15 now beyond the arc. Same amount of threes for the Pacers in only 8 tries. Rose doesn't get the roll, and Rose has it. Now, final 5 seconds. Daniels over Crozier. And that'll do it for the quarter. Thought for a minute we see this on the run. And a little bit short, but Mark Bryant kept it alive and picked up by Tinsley. Tinsley on the floor with 4 fouls. Great vision. And the foul with Al Harrington to make it, yes, Al Harrington. Going to the free throw line to shoot 2. Well, Tim Duncan's got his double-double. Go online now to www.spurs.com and click on the SBC Duncan double icon. Enter the SBC Duncan Double Sweepstakes. Register for your chance to win an autographed Tim Duncan photo. You can win a couple of tickets to a Spurs home game at the grand prize. Trip for two to a Spurs away game. Al Harrington missing the first of two. Spurs, though, closed out the third quarter after going down by 11. Outscoring the Pacers 12-2 over the last 4:55. Every free throw now so critical. Harrington gets 1 of 2. Pacers at the stripe 8 of 11. Spurs 20 of 26. And the Spurs beat them for a 5th consecutive time and 8th time overall in their last 9 meetings. Pick and roll game. Terry Porter got Tinsley up in the air and makes the most of it. It's a brand new game. 30 seconds in, it's tied at 65. You've got extremes. We've talked about it with Tony Parker. And boy, is Tony fortunate to have Terry on his side. The wisdom of Terry Porter when it comes to doing the little things, the intangibles. He worked Tinsley. Bender forced it. And Terry Porter's got it.
Ready to take his time on that post-up move. And besides that, he had Tim Duncan behind him, and he could steal him.
Now, Tim Duncan trying to draw a 5th foul on Jermaine O'Neal. Drop step to the baseline. You knew it was coming. Tim Duncan puts the Spurs. That's the biggest lead of the night for the Spurs, folks. They're up by 2. Hey, wait a minute. Come on. You got to build on something.
You're right.
Get out your noisemaker.
Well, O'Neal that time had to play Matador defense. He knows that he has all those fouls. He wants to stay in the game.
Bryant, a little shove. Now, you don't want to pick up too many fouls early. And the Spurs already have 2 team fouls, 90 seconds into the quarter, where all of a sudden they get to the line with 6 minutes left in the game. Gatorade game summary. With the Spurs up by a couple, had the nice run at the end of the quarter. Overall, and the one on the bottom, though, Greg Popovich ejected at the start of the second quarter, trying to light a fire in his team. Billy Rose picks it up after the O'Neal miss. And I think Pop did to a certain extent. They woke up. Some of the regulars started coming back in. Nice move, Tim Duncan. He got away with a walk and goes to the line to shoot 2. Did he walk or was it just me?
No, it wasn't just 2. He got away with 1. And Harrington isn't happy about it. He wanted to complain. Isaiah's not happy about it, but Tim got away with a walk and then gets himself to the free throw line. That's a little shuffle there. And then he moved his pivot foot again that time.
So Tim Duncan going to the free throw line. They give O'Neal the foul. It's his 5th. Disbelief on the Pacers bench. Been there, done that. No sympathy.
Hey, it happens to everybody.
Texas lottery game numbers. Tim Duncan showing the way for the Spurs. That's a shot. 3-point lead. Tim now with 19 and 10. 7th in the league in scoring, 24.5 a game. On top in rebounding, 13.1. And 3rd in blocks. MVP for my money so far this season.
No question about it.
Spurs a 4-point lead.
No question about it. He'll be the leading MVP candidate. And we talked about it at the top of the show when he struggled in that first quarter. He is the best player I've seen at making something out of nothing.
Rozier counted. He got the contact, didn't put it back to the floor. Man will go to the line looking for the 3-point play.
Nice.
Mr. Outside went inside, didn't he?
Yeah, nice drive that time by Crozier. Quick step by Duncan. Look at that athletic move there. Not a bad move by Crozier.
Tim Duncan gets the foul. He'll sit down momentarily, be right back. 10 minutes to play. We'll listen to 99.5 Kiss for details about the next Road Warrior party. It's all tomorrow night, 7:30. Join the Coyotes folks at 99.5 Kiss for a chance to win Spurs tickets, CDs, a bunch more. Dallas Mavericks matchup. So be listening to 99.5. Crozier converts the 3-point play. His numbers are way down. He was a double-digit scorer last year. He's only at 5.8 coming into the game tonight.
And the year before that, when they made it to the finals, he was spectacular.
Terry Porter, how about it? Coming up short. Bryant lost track of it. It was right off his back and gets the foul. Now the Spurs have 14 fouls. They're out of fouls, and that's what I was talking about. Right. Only 2:18 into the fourth quarter. That really hurts.
In Indiana, overall, a good free throw shooting team, especially when you have a guy like Reggie out there on the floor. And Reggie, that time, didn't have a chance at the rebound and wisely tapped it toward Austin Crozier.
So they're at the stripe the rest of the way. Tinsley's got space. Jamal Tinsley. He hasn't taken many shots tonight. It's only his 5th, but he's made 3 of those 5. He's got 7. 1-point lead as the Pacers have come back with 5 straight. Daniels against the bigger man. Good idea. Drive right around to bring him outside, penetrate.
And that's a signature Antonio move because he ends up on the floor after that drive. But what a tremendous drive that time, showing patience and beating the bigger man to the basket.
Porter forcing Tinsley into the air and then taking it away at the defensive end. Porter did it both. Both times Terry got it done against Tinsley. And now the ball knocked away. The Spurs will have it. We've got a time on the floor. But
Last 4 games, including 2 overtimes, the starters averaging 16.5 minutes per game. And then the finishers have done the most work, 38.8, and that's the big one with David Robinson. Only 8 minutes. A great thing for Pop to have, Sean and Joel, guys who can count on to finish games.
the deepest bench that Pop has had as the head coach of the Spurs, the most athletic, John.
Well, it takes a lot of guts to leave your bench out there in the fourth and give them so many minutes, especially in crunch time. But he believes in them.
Lead by 1. Foster made sure Rose couldn't keep it alive after the miss. And the difficult assignment of Reggie Miller. Usually it's Bowen. David on the double. Foster with too good a position. And a rejection by David, but Harrington follows. Might see Tim Duncan come back in a hurry with 4 fouls.
He's going to have to finish up strong.
Malik Rose working. Austin Crozier and Malik lost it on his way up. It was a flat pancake. And the pass inside. No prayer. Answers for Harrington. He thought he got it in the chops.
Antonio clapping his hands about 10 times together for Malik to give him an outlet pass.
Spurs down by a point. Neither team lighting it up offensively in the second half. Daniels setting up Porter. Shot clock down. TP barely drew iron. Tinsley's got it with Crozier. And almost put it out of bounds on the sideline.
That ball just has grease on it today.
Crozier, that's what he does well. Austin Crozier, a clutch bucket for the young man who averaged 10 and 5 in 23 minutes of play last year, but not even at 6 a game. And off the bench tonight, gets the three-pointer, and he's got 8 to go along with 11 rebounds. Talk about working his tail off.
Yeah, but no way that he should get that wide open look. And it wasn't a break situation. Nobody came out to guard him or contest that shot.
Porter on the run. TP again among the threes. Got it away. Didn't over-penetrate where it was going to be blocked. Back within 2. It has been a struggle every step of the way tonight for the San Antonio Spurs after a sluggish beginning. And a reach by Terry Porter. Tinsley goes to the free throw line. That's what hurts you so much about those early fouls. Any whistle, they're at the strike.
Yeah, they get to go to the free throw line now. And here's that last 3. Look at Crozier, wide open. Who's guarding him? Look at that separation. Look at that space between Dave Robinson and Crozier. Too much room to contest there. He's got an easy shot. Easy look at it.
So Crozier with 8. Tinsley misses the first of 2. And doesn't get either, but Jeff Foster outworked the Spurs again. That's what Malik Rose does to the opposition.
And that's why Isaiah called him the most important player on their team, because of the intangibles. Getting a tip off a free throw in crunch time? Are you kidding me?
Tim Duncan back into the game. Al Harrington the swipe across Steve Smith. That is only the second team foul, though, on the Pacers. 2 more before the Spurs get into the bonus. Where the Pacers are the rest of the way, leading by 4. This is a team coming off back-to-back losses to New Jersey in overtime. Blew a 7-point lead with 2 minutes left in regulation. And then went scoreless down the stretch against Miami. A 5-23 Miami team. Knocked out of bounds by Foster. He is wheeling right now. Jeff Foster rested. He's been on the bench. He's got 4 fouls. He comes back, and he is instant energy.
Couldn't agree with you more.
He has really been a catalyst for them tonight. Stoney on the penetration, setting up a great look for Daniels. And that's been the story for the Spurs tonight, as the Spurs are 3 of 19 from beyond the arc. Still a 4-point deficit, halfway now through the final 12 minutes of regulation.
I see Reggie posting up a lot here. That's not his game, the back to the basket. He wants to face up after that post-up.
Daniels did everything he could. But Crozier gets his 12th rebound on the long kick. Long shot, long rebound.
And this is crunch time here. You're in the last 6 minutes at home. You're down 4. There needs to be some box out.
Tinsley did everything but finish. On the penetration, here comes Parker. Bounce for Daniels on the reverse. Steve Smith instead. One time? No. David Robinson held up with one hand, trying to pull it down. Now 3-on-1. Harrington. Is it a charge? Yeah. Parker got back.
What a play by the young fella.
Takes a hit by Harrington.
3-on-1 break with Tinsley, the rookie leader in assists. And look at Parker get his body up. That's what you're supposed to do for your team. Great job of giving his body up.
Boston 66 at the Fleet Center. Talk about a strange score.
Yeah, that's a strange score.
Now, can they get Tim Duncan some touches inside? Working against Jeff Foster. And Foster's been all over him all night. Tinsley takes it away. Two-man game as they double in 2 times. Tim Duncan. He didn't recognize Tinsley dropping down.
He's got quick hands, Tinsley. He got in there. He's lightning quick getting to the ball.
He comes in 3rd in the league in assists. 9 a game. He's got 4 so far tonight. Matching up with Tony Parker. Shot clock down on the young man. Harrington, does he recognize it? Miller told him to go up with it. That's the only reason he put the ball up. Reggie Miller said, you better. He put his finger up in the air like, shoot.
Right, he got the ball with 4 seconds left with a smaller man on him, and Steve Smith did a great job of playing defense.
Charles Smith back into the game for the Spurs. First time, the second play. And Tim Duncan had it tripped away again. He's putting it down, and there's a double team. Harrington with Foster for the easy one. So turnovers, empty trip, and the Spurs are down by 8.
Time here, there's 4 minutes left in this ball game. This is crunch time.
Jeff Foster averages 6 a game, and he's got 14 tonight, and he deserved that one because he was the one who stripped it away from Tim Duncan.
Yeah, he strips it away, and then he comes down and gets the easy dunk. That's not supposed to happen. You know, Papa's going to look at this film. Believe me, these guys are going to hear it tomorrow.
11-2 run right now. The Indiana Pacers in crunch time over the last 5 minutes. Terry Porter runs the offense. Steve Smith pouring it inside. Now, Tim over Foster, finally. They didn't drop down to the double. He hung on to the basketball. He's got 22 and 11. And the Spurs are only down by 6. Now, can you come up with some stops, though? Spurs at 35% game. Now, they've done a better job since the first quarter. Indiana only 43%. And it's thrown away by Miller. Tinsley saying he was grabbed by Terry Porter. But that man got away with one. Heads up play.
And now it's time to pay attention to detail. Finish off your work.
Steve Smith losing, getting back. Porter tied up by Tinsley. It'll be a jump ball. Terry Porter with Jamal Tinsley.
A good effort that time by Terry Porter. Jamal Tinsley has good timing. It's not like he's an exceptional athlete. He's not a high jumper. He's not super quick. He just timed it perfectly.
He led Iowa State to 2 Big 12 conference titles. Terry Porter bouncing around. Matt Grosier's going to get it. Like everything else, you lose ball going to the Pacers. Spurs need another stop. They got an empty trip. The errant pass by Reggie Miller last time. And Harrington locked up with Steve Smith goes to the free throw line. You ready for that? It may take some time. Sign up through Monday for the Inside the Huddle. Win a Coyote bobblehead courtesy of Body Solutions. Log on to Spurs.com. Click on Inside the Huddle. With one of 5 Coyote bobbleheads for one of 10 great prizes. Second place prizes, there's 10 of them. Inside the Huddle, the official free email service of the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs in double jeopardy now. And a couple of free throws for Al Harrington, guy who's been in double digits off their bench in 17 of the last 18 games. Taking 18 of the last 19 and 17 tonight, and it's taken away. Tinsley blocked from behind by Terry Porter. So he didn't quit on the play. Give TP credit.
He started out there like a sandwich. This is a guy bringing your dinner to your table here. Sarasota getting back into play. Don't get too fancy with it. You got to tuck that ball in. You got to hide it from shot blockers. You can't show them the ball.
Charles Smith, a difficult assignment of keeping up with Reggie Miller. Trojan for three. And Foster takes it. Trojan two-hander. Tim Duncan was still complaining that he thought the guy was out of bounds on the baseline in front of Gary Benson. Didn't get the call, and Crozier's he kept running without the basketball.
And that play epitomizes the way Indiana has played tonight and the way the Spurs have played. See, everybody off the bench for Indiana, they're fired up. Their bench is excited after that play. Austin Crozier has everybody's blood pumping on that play. And Foster's been an animal. Nobody's boxed him out tonight, not in key situations.
And what about Crozier off the bench? 10 and 12 for Austin Crozier. It's been a wake-up night for him. He hasn't had a night like this in a long time. Foster. And they're called a charge. Trying to get around David Robinson. That's the hit by Jeff Foster. A break for the Spurs with 2:06 to play. And a timeout for the Spurs. Point balls for the Pacers on a 15-4 run over the last 6+ minutes. Our Sonic player of the game, Madison High School, Jeff Foster.
Yeah, he's been better than tater tots with cheese. I'm telling you that right now. Here he gets that's the only basket I've seen him work for. That time doing a great job of stripping Tim Duncan. And getting back in there, finishing it with a dunk, outrunning everybody on the Spurs team. That guy there has put in a big effort tonight.
Tony Parker back into the game for the Spurs for the final 2 minutes. Steve Smith being grabbed on his way by. Tinsley grabbed him. And that is only the third to make it the 14th foul. So the rest of the way, the Spurs, were in the final 2 minutes, will shoot. But they put 2 minutes and 18 seconds in the fourth quarter. They put the Pacers at the line the rest of the night.
This if they don't end up pulling this one out, it's going to be a tough loss for them. This is one you're counting on at home before you start off on these tough road trips. You can't afford to just take teams for granted.
Malik Rose battling. Spurs, they better hurry. Charles Smith kept it alive. Steve Smith. He got Crozier up into the air. It'll be a couple of free throws. That's what they need. A couple of free throws, any kind of free throws. Points with the clock stopped.
Yeah, get themselves back in it at the line.
Minute 38 to play. There's a ton of time. You hit your free throws. You create opportunities. You got to get a stop or a steal, too. You don't have a stop or a steal. You don't have a prayer. Right after the game, the Southwest Sports Report, John and I will stick around. We'll join the guys in the studio. Steve Smith leading the team at 85% from the strike, 55 from 66 on the season. Nine-point game for the Spurs went dead cold in the fourth quarter. 34% for the game compared to 43%. It's not like Indiana shooting the lights out. The game was there for the taking.
Well, it was there for the taking, but you know, I'm staring across now at the hustle board, and you're out rebounded by 10. They have 6 more steals than you. They've been a lot more active tonight.
And in this game, in the first game, John, don't forget the Spurs outboarded them 62-40. Wow, Tony Parker sending Tinsley to the line.
I mean, maybe you're in a situation where you have guys that are looking forward to tomorrow's game, that they were unable to focus on the task at hand tonight. You're laughing at me.
I mean, Dallas is huge. There's no doubt about that.
They are.
I don't think you can look past the team that went to the NBA Finals two years ago.
No, but you can. Because that Dallas loss,
it hurts. Especially when Tim gets 53.
Right.
And that's why it really stings. When Tim gets 53 and you lose, that's tough.
And you kind of look at this game on the schedule as you're going to win this, and you should win this game against a team that's not as good as you, but they come out, they out-hustle you, they catch you sleeping.
They led every step of the way, basically. The Spurs had a 4-point lead at 69-65. Since that point, though, it has been all Indiana. They scored 5 straight, and they took over from there.
Or sometimes you need this. Sometimes you need this kind of lesson at home.
Just a wake-up call?
Absolutely. So, and it's going to get them ready for tomorrow night's game. They're not going to come out tomorrow night and sleep.
Passes.
Oh, no. And you know that Pop is going to have plenty to say about this loss. When I look at this game, the number one thing that I see here is effort. The effort wasn't matched tonight. Indiana brought a ton of intensity. They brought effort. They had guys flying around there, Cozier and Foster, and no one stepped up to match that intensity.
Final timeout. Minutes is only 3 for 21. And maybe the biggest road win for a team. Isaiah Thomas's squad 7-10 on the road coming in tonight. They were not a great road team last year. And now they're 7-5. How many teams from the East can say they've got a winning record against the West? They're 7-5 against the West now. Last year on the road, they were only 15-26. Parker for 3. Tony, quick stroke makes it 9. He's got 3 threes away. Crozier fouled by Malik Rose.
You definitely have to know the right guys to foul in this situation.
Crozier's too good, isn't it? Crozier goes to the line. And at the free throw line this year, 86%. So he's missed at least 1.4 every 10 tries.
Only you would say something like that.
T-Wolves won tonight, 93-86 over the Jazz. I told you now we need, was 1.6, I feel better about it.
Oh, you can miss this one and make up for him another game.
How about it? 3. That's what you need. It's a 3-possession game. Parker, the distance. Tony does it again. You're within 7. Now you got to have a steal. Harrington grabbed from behind. They still don't call it. Miller's going to try to rag some time. You don't want to foul Reggie. That's the problem.
If you're going to foul somebody, you got to foul Harrington.
Oh, it's taken away, but Harrington is fouled with 50.6 to play.
Harrington is a 78% free throw shooter, but believe me, in this situation here, you're on the road, you're a little tired, you have to finish out a game, and those shooting percentages, especially from the free throw line, tend to fall quite a bit.
They're 15 of 22 at the line. The Spurs 24 of 30. Harrington with 1 miss so far tonight. Make it 2. They wouldn't put the Spurs back into the game by missing the free throws, would they?
But of course they could.
89-82.
Of course they could.
They'll take 1 of 2.
As long as you come down and get a quick one and foul again and you play this little game with them.
Parker for 3. Stop. It was down, but it wouldn't stay down. O'Neal chases it. And it's taken away. Spurs get another try. This time Charles Smith for 3. Daniels inside, setting up a real good look for Charlie. And it's been that kind of night, folks. That should do it. Spurs from the three-point line tonight, 4 of 25. Reggie Miller to the free throw line. So they had a couple of looks, especially with the second one by Charles Smith to make it a 5-point game. Could have made it interesting. But the best team in the NBA, beyond the arc, can't buy one tonight.
4 for 25. Tough shooting night, but you can make up for tough shooting nights if you bring the effort and you bring the intensity to the ball game and you stick your nose in there for 48 minutes. And that wasn't the case tonight. Overall, you had a few guys here and there that were boxing out, paying attention to detail. They're out there trying to compete, but you can't have half your team competing and the other half looking forward to tomorrow or toward other things.
Daniels, it'll still belong in the offensive end with the Spurs down by 10. Spurs will fall to 22-8. While Indiana will raise their record to 19-15. Snap a 2-game losing streak. They had a 4-game winning streak before they dropped those 2 to New Jersey in overtime and then Miami at home. They could have come in with a 6-game run. Tim Duncan for 3. And they'll run it out. So First win since November of 1996.
Team